Now listen, it's really and truly to help you understand numbers better. All right, so these are above average in difficulty, although some of them, all right, you should be able to do. And we're going to talk about it, all right, because I'm constantly kind of reviewing with you. All right, does anybody have any questions with where we're at right now as far as the worksheets? All right, lots to do, lots to learn. So let's take a look at number 1. All right, again, personally, we are heading into Algebra 1. So I want you to write it as an equation. Equations are better than proportions. Equations are better than proportions. So if we write this as an equation, and the reason I'm saying that is because some of you did write it as a proportion on your test, all right, which isn't bad. It's just it's smarter to write it this way, all right? So it says 24. So everybody's going to write down, of course, 24. And we already know what is means. Equals. What percent is our n or x? And of means what? All right, that wasn't bad. Everybody good with that? Now, how do I solve that? Divide by 120. So n is equal to 24 divided by 120. And now you get your calculator out and you tell me that's just what? 0.2. All right, which is obviously what? 20%. Now, I almost think they should have an E down here and have E, the answer be 0.2. So kids would make that mistake. All right, but keep in mind now, they're wanting a percent, not a what? Not a decimal. All right, not a decimal. All right. Tables, extremely important for you to be able to read tables properly. All right, so let's take a look at question number 2. It says, the table shows the result of a survey on people's favorite fruit. What percent of the people chose orange as their favorite fruit? Jesse, what do you think I have to do for this?
You want to do it as an equation, so you probably want to add them all together.
Yeah, how many people are there all together? Very good job, girl. Add them up real quick. Let her get it, please.
79.
All right, the total is 79. Now listen, I'm not saying every single time you have to write an equation. I'm not saying that. Because I would want you to know a percent is just what? Part to 100, right? But you don't always have 100. So in this case, Jesse, how many do we have that like orange? How many?
11.
Out of how many?
79.
Now, 11 out of 79. Do you agree that's not a percent?
Yeah.
Because it's not out of 100. So, what do I have to do?
You divide it.
That's correct.
And that would, do you just want me to do it first?
I want you to tell me what the decimal is on your calculator.
So, 0.1392 is that.
Good. Okay. So now, what percent would that be?
That would be 13.9.
That's correct. Because what do you do to the decimal?
Move
Move
it over to the right.
it to the right 2 places. 1, 2. All right. 13.9%. Everybody happy with that? So that's not that hard. Hopefully you're saying, come on, I hope it gets harder than that. All right. That's pretty weak. All right. Let's see what we have here for question number 3. It says, the United States is the world's leading exporter of wheat with approximately 27.8 billion metric tons per year. Suppose France exports 66% of the U.S. total. About how many metric tons are exported to France? All right. So, Sebastian, tell me what you're thinking of. Say it again. Okay. Yeah, so he's making a proportion. Now here's what I want to try to show you though, Sebastian. So stop what you're doing and listen. And this goes for everybody. Listen, you're 100% right. All right? Because what he's doing is, see, he's saying what? it's part to what? Whole. All right? It's part to whole. All right, now please watch my explanation here. All right? It says, suppose France exports 66% of what? Of the U.S. total. Right? So now watch how I want to make this so easy for you. Because I told you of generally means what? Multiplication. So what I would want you rather to set up that proportion that way is I'd rather just say 60%, 66% is what decimal, Sebastian? That's right, 0.66. Of means what? Times. Now we're going to multiply that by the U.S. total. Do we know what the U.S. total is? That's correct, 27.8 billion. Does that make sense to you? And that's, of course, France. So France, and here's what I'm trying to show you again. See, to me, it's just a simple little equation. France is, now isn't really there, right? But I'm trying to tell you how to interpret that. Does everybody hear me on this?
Yes.
All right, come on now, because this is really important. All right? France is 66% of U.S. France is 66% of the U.S. So it's easy. We don't, your equation that you set up, your proportion is correct. 100% correct. But you see how I would want you to interpret it, just look how simple that is. Right, I don't have to do all the cross multiplying. I can just say what? 0.66 times 27.8, and tell me what that works out to be. Works right up there on the board. Come on. Right, so it's approximately what? Right, 18 billion. Now, I want also everybody to look up on the board. Look up, look up, look up. I've been trying to talk to you about numbers. I would prefer that you say 66% is what fraction about? What's 2/3? Everybody should write that down. All right, right under 66%, I wish you would write down 66% is about 2/3. Now, why do I say that? Because I didn't have to do any work on this. Because I'm just doing 2/3 of what? 2/3 of 27. Everybody see that? Well, because I'm just estimating. Because it's multiple choice. So 27 divided by 3 is what?
9.
Times 2. Times 2. 18. Boom, there's my answer. Does everybody see that? Right? So if you understand mental math, that's what I'm trying to help you out with. We could just look at that and say, obviously, it's 18 billion. Right? Now, the other thing I want to say is I need your attention now because I'm trying to help you now with your standardized test. All right? Is 66% more or less than 1/2? More than 1/2, right? So right now, if I'm at 27, halfway would be about 14. Does everybody agree with that? And it has to be more than what? 14. So I know it's not what? B or B. Now, what do you think about 25 billion? 25 billion is almost 100%. Do you agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
So even if I'm just kind of looking through a problem, I can recognize that the answer, the only possible answer was what? C. Now listen, now's the time where I'm trying to help you with your ERBs. All right, and everybody knows how important those are. So I'm trying to get you to see multiple ways, Sebastian. You understand what I'm telling you? I'm trying to make you smarter, man. Going on is not helping you. Listen to what I'm showing you. Help you understand standardized tests much better. All right? So now, everybody, we're going to write the equation for number 4. Again, who wants to do that? Caroline, good. Thank you. What would you write? 53.2 n, right? Or x. All right, now what do I do? By doing what? That's right. So n is equal to 26.6 divided by 53.2, which is exactly what? That's correct. 0.5, which is 50%. All right. That should be kind of a review. But again, I'm interested in writing the equation, writing out the equation. All right. Now, let's go with Connor. Why don't you do number 5? Set up number 5 for me.
So 92.4 is multiplication. Oh no, it's division.
Wait a minute now. Look up there again. Is always means equals. You're fine though. Don't worry. Seriously. 92.4 equals. Now, how do I write 150%?
1.5.
And then n. Thank you. So how do I solve this now? What am I doing? Right. So tell me what the answer is. Now I have calculators if you want. I mean, you can use your iPad. I don't.
My mom just ordered.
Perfect. It's annoying to flip back and forth, right? So if you want, you can borrow one of mine for today, or you can just continue using your iPad. Just tell me what the answer is, though. 61.6. Now, I really like this question right here because kids accidentally would put what down? The percent. Does everybody hear me? So is the answer A? Definitely not A. Everybody good with this? All right, that's how they try to trick you on some standardized tests. We're not talking about a percentage. So the answer has to be what? B. I like it. I like it. All right, here we go. Now, really and truthfully now, we're going to have to talk about these new problems now. All right, starting a little bit harder. So I'm talking about an MP3 player costs $90. If a 5.25% sales tax is added, what would be the total cost? Okay, tell me how to set this up.
Okay, so you would do 90.
90 times.
Well, you're paying 105.
Listen to what she just said. You're paying 105.25%. We're not going to multiply by 5.25% because that would just give us the what? That would just give us the tax. Is everybody hearing me? You understand what I'm saying? All right, so we're going to multiply by what now? 1.0525. That is perfect. 1.0525. Now, is the time. We got small, lots of people absent. If you're not sure, speak up. Do you have any doubts with why she did 1.0525? Jess, you good? All right, tell me the answer. 94.725. And because we're rounding to the nearest penny, right, I'm looking at the 5. Right? And it actually should be what? It should be 90, what? Yeah, it should be 94.70 what? Should be 73, so we're going to correct them. So come up here, let's knock that out, let's correct. And I want everybody to be right. So we check that. Somebody else check her work. I don't want her to give me a wrong answer. Is she correct? 94.70 what? 3. That would be the best answer. All right, is everybody good? All right, not bad. Now, this is one that was on the test that a lot of people missed. So I need to figure out what the tax was. Right? Well, when you want to find the tax, it's the same as finding the percent of increase. That's all it is. You went from what? Right? So you went from what? 18.9 to what? 20.08. Everybody with me? So you got to figure out how much tax is that. How much is our tax? What do we pay in tax? Tell me.
You would do.
What?
You would do 20.08 minus 18.9.
Good job.
And that's 1.18.
Good. So you paid, hold on, you paid 1.08, 1.18, or $1.18 in what? Tax. Right?
So then,
Yep. Tell me what to do now.
and then you would divide
That's correct.
1.18 divided by 20.8.
No.
Oh, 18.9 because that's the starting price.
That's exactly right. This is the cost. All right. So it'd be 1.18 divided by 18.9. And tell me what that worked out to be.
60, 0.0624.
0.0624. Did anybody else get that?
Yeah. That's not 6.25.
Right. Right. So we would have to correct them on that also. So does everybody agree that'd be 6.24%? 6.24. All right, they didn't round properly. So I'm going to change that. 6.24. .24%. Everybody good? All right. We're doing a percent of increase now. Who remembers the rule for percent of increase? Alice, do you remember this rule? Yes. Exact. Oh, yes. All right. I always say the change divided by the original. All right. So tell me what the change is, kiddo. $9 exactly. And then where do we start? You see what I'm saying, right? It's always the change divided by the original. We started at 236 and we moved to 245. So I think 236 would be better. All right, do that decimal for me. Okay, so that's about what percent? Yeah, I'm agreeing with you, about 3.8%. Everybody feeling pretty good about that? Well, that's not bad. Okay, so number 9. Find the selling price if a store paid $14 for a kite and they're going to mark it up 25%. Who hasn't said anything today? Go ahead, Will. What would I do? 14 times 0.25. I'll accept that. What is that? That's 3.5, right? Which would be exactly. Hold on a second. Yeah, so wow, they did make a mistake on this one too. Now the thing though here is instead of doing it that way, what's another technique we could do on this? Tell him. Yeah, do you see what I'm saying on that? Do you remember that? Right, I think that's how I want you to do it. All right, so that's a possibility, right? That's a possibility. So I want you to say 14 times 1.25. All right, and what is that? 17.5. Now, somebody do me this favor. Somebody do somebody do 14 for me divided by 1.25.
11.2.
Yeah, see that they totally made a mistake on that too. Yeah, guys, so let's fix this, guys. What I want to do is, I'm sorry about that. So what I want to do is just totally disregard the choices A, B, C, D. Just wipe them out. And then just highlight what? 1750 is your right answer. Now remember what I'm trying to discuss with you guys also now as far as what? As far as you know, I want you to learn it as the 25% is a markup, so you pay 100% plus the what?
25.
That's right. So it's 125%, which is 1.25. Is everybody okay with that? Okay, now the next one is a really good one too. So I need everybody to listen up on number 10. All right, everybody listen up on number 10. All right. Why don't you go ahead and read it to me?
Okay. In all the supply stores having a clearance sale, a computer desk has an original price of $150. It's on sale for 55% off the original price. Find the sale price of the computer desk.
So what do I have to do for this?
So I did 150 times 0.45.
Exactly what I want you to be able to do. All right, everybody take a look at that and make sure you know why it's 0.45. Because normally you have to pay what percent? 100%, but we get a what? 55% discount. So instead of paying 100%, I only have to pay what? I only have to pay 45%. 45% of what? 45% of the original price, which is 150. All right? So when I multiply that, what do I get?
I got 67.5.
Beautiful. 67.5. All right, guys. Yes, I want you to do the next one. Read it to me.
Eric has a 25% discount on the crop. The selling price was $127. What was the original?
Now here this one's a hard one. All right, I need everybody's attention on this, please. Everybody, please listen. Max, you with me?
Yeah.
All right. So tell me what you think. It's okay. Now, are we trying to find the original price, correct? So now, here's where I need your attention. Everybody look up, sit up, Max, and listen to me just on this problem. Because this is something new. All right, if I remember, we had some problems before the test. I said I'm going to skip them and do this week. So I'm glad you're back because we're on a tough problem. All right, so please pay attention. It says, Eric had a 25% discount on lacrosse equipment. The selling price was $127.50. So that's after we took the discount. Does everybody agree with that? Which means we only had to pay what percent?
75.
We only had to pay 75%. Does everybody hear me? Do we know what the original price was?
No.
No, so that's in. Please pay attention, listen to what I'm saying, and make sure you're understanding me. I don't know what the original cost was. I do know that I multiplied the original price by what? By 0.75. Why did I multiply by 0.75?
Because
It was 100%. I only had to pay what? No, I only had to pay what? 75 because I got a 25% discount. Come on now, this is the important stuff when you go out in the real world and start buying things. So you only had to pay what? 75%. Do you agree with that? And if you pay 75%, then it cost you how much money? It cost you $127.50. Now, like I said, number 11 is the hard one. Number 11 is the really hard one, so you want to make yourself a note. All right? So, to find the original price, what do I have to do now? Yes. You are awesome, girl. Divide by 0.75. Divide by 0.75. So, the original price was $170. Does that make sense? All right, again, that was really kind of a hard one. Really hard. All right. So let's take a look at number 12. Wow, put a star by number 12 too, because this is a thinking problem also. Taylor is buying a dryer that had an original price of $315, but it's advertised 20% off. The sales tax is 6.5%. How much does she pay for the dryer? All right, I need your attention. I need your attention. How much was the original price? It was $315. So everybody's writing 315. Now, what discount do I get? So that means I have to pay what percent? 80%, which is 0.8. Now, that's normally our final answer, but today, instead of just paying for the discount, I now have to add in the what? The tax. So what do I multiply to find the tax? No, not yet. What do I multiply by? Yeah, I'm really proud of you, buddy. That's good. 1.065. That is my total. Now, I want everybody to write that down. Please write that down, and then we're going to talk about it one more time because that's really important. All right? I pay what? Usually I pay what for the dryer? So they say I usually pay $315. Everybody happy with that? However, I'm going and buying on sale. How much off is it? 20% off, right? So that means I only have to pay 80%. Now, I'm happy because I'm getting a good deal. Now I'm unhappy because I have to pay my what? I have to pay my taxes. All right? So then, after I get this good discount, I now have to pay that amount plus the what? 6.5%. That's what that means. Now look, guys, again, that's really important. Most people do not understand that concept, so make sure you're hearing what I'm saying. All right, now you have your calculator. What is our total? Somebody said 268.38, but check her, please. Is everybody happy with that? And again, you're typing it on the calculator yourself. All right, now 13 was an easy one because we did this yesterday. So, interest formula. Connor, what was the interest formula? Do you remember?
Q, or not Q, I equals PRT.
Yes, I equals PRT. Q would not be a bad variable, though. All right, Q would not be bad. All right, that's pretty good. So I equals PRT. Now, again, we're just looking for the what? The interest, right? So I equals, what's our principal? Yep, 3,700. What's our interest rate? As a decimal?
0.0325.
Beautiful, 0.0325. And for? Yes, sir. Good job, buddy. Times 8. He said 962. Does anybody agree with that?
I agree.
$962. No, we don't. No, we don't. The reason why we don't have to add it because it just wants the what? It just wants the interest, does not want the total amount. Okay? That's a good. All right, so 962. Here we go. All right, a couple more. The circle graph below shows the native languages of participants in a film festival. Find the number of people, or find the total number of people surveyed if 250 speak Spanish. This is a really good problem. What would it be?
So would you add 250 to 25% to get that total number?
That's not a bad thought. Let me hear what somebody else has to say. Uh-huh. Yes, listen to what she said, guys. Listen, that's very smart. All right, and then I'm going to show you how I want you to do it because I can make the numbers harder. Do you agree with me? So please listen to what I said, Jesse. Look up, please. All right, 25%. It looks a little weird, but I'm going to try to do it this way so I can show you something. All right. That doesn't look exactly like 25%. So I'm going to show you what 25% better would look like. Does everybody see that would be better if that was 25%? Now, this is what I want to show you now, please. So please listen. This represents how many people? 250. Does everybody agree with that? So how many more are there? So this one over here would have to be 250. This over here would be 250. And that would be 250. Does everybody see what I'm getting at? If 25% is 250, there has to be the same 325% or 25%. Does everybody get me on this? Because I'm going to make it harder in the future. But I wanted you to be able to mentally see that. Does everybody see how this would just be 1,000, right? That'd be 1,000. Now I want to set it up mathematically. Here's what I need your attention on, and we're going to call it a day. All right, eyes up, please. Eyes up, eyes up. All right. Do we know what the total is?
Yes.
No, we don't. I mean, we figured it out, but we didn't know it originally, correct? So please watch. I want you to write this down. I don't know what the total is, and that's what? N. But I do know 25% of the total, listen to me, 25% of the total was equal to what? 250. Please look up at that, see if you understand what I'm getting at. Do I know what the total is? No. But I know that 25% of the total is what? 250. Is everybody good with that? So now how do I solve that equation? Divided by, right? So we would be saying what? Let's double check yourself. Divided by 0.25, divided by 0.25, and hopefully that's 1,000. So everybody do that on the calculator, make sure we did that correct. Is it 1,000? All right. So now we did it two different ways, mathematically, and we did it logically. All right. 25% represents 1/4. So if you multiply by 4, that would give you the total. All right. Now, in this case, it wants to know how many people would actually, if there are 1,000 people, how many people would speak Italian?
Well, so you have to turn it into a decimal.
Which is?
0.06.
Exactly.
You multiply that to 1,000 and you get 60.
That's correct. Thank you very much. That was the answer to the extra credit question. All right. Does everybody see that? No, on the test. The last if you got this question right, I gave you 5 points.
Oh, I didn't.
All right. But now you see it, right? All right. Now, what I want to do tonight, listen to me, please, is everybody has to just try these problems. And some of them are harder and some of them are what? So you have to read them. All right. All we're doing is 15 through 22. All right. Everybody try 15 through 22. Everybody hear me on this. And you get to use a calculator. So I want everybody to do that right now. All right. And listen, honestly, if you're not sure, I want you to ask your parents, or if you have an older sister or brother, ask somebody that can help you out. All right? But I want you to try to go through and answer these. And when we get to the end, the problems, you'll be experts at percentages if you go through them and understand every single one that we're doing. All right? So please get somebody to help you out, and then we're going to go over these problems tomorrow.